Every day it's a win. Since I was told that you don't want me, baby, you're just calling. You know I try to hold on to where there's no you.
Welcome back to another tutorial by Big Al's Barber channel. Guys, if you guys haven't subscribed to our channel, I encourage you guys to do that right now. Big Al's Barber channel is here to educate and motivate your barbering career. What we are doing on this haircut, guys, is we are gonna do a zero fade undercut on top, guys, with a lineup on the front. We're just getting this young man ready for his first day of college, guys. About undercuts, guys. Undercuts are basically a haircut where we're gonna go tight on the sides. You could either do a fade or taper. This is a situation we're gonna do a fade, and the top, basically we're leaving it long edges, guys. There's no blend on the sides. We're kind of just leaving it long, and it's hanging long towards the back. So what I'm starting off right here, I'm starting off with my skeleton trimmer by Babyliss, guys, and what I'm doing is creating my first guideline. And what I'm doing I'm doing it eyebrow level, and I'm just going to go all the way across, just creating that first guideline, taking it all down to a 0. So basically this is an undercut, but a lot of other people call it a man bun, because you could put this into a man bun if you want. This young man never wears it in a man bun. I know he wears it as an undercut. So what we're doing right here, we're just prepping him and getting him ready for his first day of college, and he just graduated, so we're just gonna pimp him out so he looks really, really good for that first day of school. So what we're doing right here is we're creating that first guideline, still using my skeleton trimmer by Babyliss, guys. If you guys haven't seen this machine, I encourage you guys to get it. It's probably the best trimmer out there in the market right now, I can guarantee you that. So as always, guys, my videos, my tutorials, I do them in real time. I don't speed them up, I just do them in real time so that you guys can get an idea of what it really takes to do these haircuts, make these haircuts happen, you know. I'm not trying to speed anything up, or I'm just using my own method and just explaining it to you real simply. So right there, as you can see, I'm creating that first guideline. You can use whatever machine you want to make this guideline. Some people use a 5 zeros like Eddie from the Barber Academy. Some guys use, I used to use my Balder, but ever since I got this machine, for some reason, I'm just stuck on it. And I'm like that. I'll get stuck on a machine and I'll just keep using it for a while until it seems like it's not working properly, then I'll pick up another one. So right there, you see I already got the guideline made all the way around. And what I did is when I put the man bun up, guys, you can see kind of where there's a part right there, and I did for all undercuts. I'll make that part right there, pull everything up to the top, and what I'm doing right here is I'm just going up with my number two metal number 2 with my octane metal number 2, guys, and I'm just going right up to the part. No blending, no nothing involved, and that's how tight it's gonna be right there. So I got my number 2 right there. As always, you guys already know, for those of you guys who have seen my tutorials, I fade in 3 sections. I always fade the right side, back side, and then the left side. So now that we went with our number 2, now I put my number 1 clip lever open, which is the 1.5, and I'm going to go right up to the top, right up almost to the same spot when I went with the number 2. Remember, guys, a number 2, 1.5 blends right in. There's no blending involved. You see that? Now I'm going to lower my lever half away, and I'm going to go almost to the same spot again. Bringing it nice and tight, just lightening up the bottom. I'm lightening from the bottom up, guys, leaving the top a little darker. So now I close my lever and I'm just going up halfway, guys, halfway. As you can see, number 2 on top, 1.5, 3 ways down. Now halfway up, it's a 1. Now I take off my clip, lever open, which is a half, and I'm gonna go across and create another guideline. See that? Very simple. As I go across, now I lower my lever a 1/4 way, and I'm gonna go back up to the same spot, almost to the same exact spot. As I go across, I'm gonna lower my lever halfway, and I'm only gonna go halfway up now. Halfway up. As I do that, I'm dragging, scraping that bottom line, kind of fading it out. Now a quarter way more, almost closed, and I'm just focusing on the bottom line, just breaking that bottom line, pushing it up. Staying away from that secondary shadow right there. We're gonna take care of that right now with a half clip. But that's basically what you do, guys. You just have to stay on your mark right there. Now I'm gonna grab my trimmer, skeletonized trimmer, and I'm gonna push that bottom line. Just push it up. Push it towards the middle. not going any higher than the middle, because once you push that line up towards the middle, you create a secondary guide. Now you're going to grab your machine, no clip, the machine quarter way open. See, I'm pointing to it right there, and I'm just going to push that shadow. That's the secondary shadow right there. I'm going to push it back up to the half shadow. So all we have left now is we have that shadow that we created when we went with our half. Now, how you're going to ask me, how would you take that out? You take that out with your half clip. Half clip, lever open, and then you're going to rake it across that center shadow, maybe about an inch wide. And then as you lower your lever, you're going to go back and just focusing on the center shadow. See, lever open, and I'm going to go up almost to the same place I went with my 1.5. Just basically just raking that center shadow. As I go across, I'm going to lower my lever quarter way, and I'm going to come back the other way. Just focusing on that center shadow, just trying to erase that center shadow. See right there? Fading it out, fading on that center shadow. As I go across, I lower my lever quarter way, and you can't really tell that I'm lowering my lever because I have a one motion of just doing it all at once. But what I'm doing is I'm lowering that lever. See right there, I'm kind of lowering the lever again. I don't stop to lower my lever. Time is money. So what I do is I've just trained my mind to move my lever as I keep going, so that I don't stop to look at my lever and look where I'm at. You know what I mean? See, I see a little secondary shadow right there. So my no clip, lever open, and I'm just focusing on that center shadow right there, trying to push it up. When you're fading, guys, you're just basically creating lines and erasing lines. If you guys don't know that, that's what basically what a fade is creating lines and erasing lines. If you can fade out the shadows that you created, then you're going to be able to do a nice fade. So then we're done with that side. Now we're going to go to the next side. Again, we're going to start off with our number two, metal number 2, octane. If you guys don't have an octane, guys, and you guys are thinking about going with detachable blades, I encourage you guys to just make the jump, get the octane. The model 110 is awesome for half the price, but if you want to do cordless, then I encourage you guys to go with the octane. It's just an awesome machine, and it frees you up of that cord. And trust me, that cord from the model 10 or any 76 is as annoying as hell, and you always got to be changing the cord on it because it always twists up and breaks. So right there we went with our number 2. Now we're gonna go with our 1 lever open, which is a 1.5, and we're almost gonna go to the same spot again, guys. Very, very simple, guys. Very simple steps right here. We went with our 2 first. Now we're with our 1.5, just lightening everything up. Now I'm gonna lower my quarter way, and I'm gonna just go across it right there, halfway up, just lightening it all up, getting ready to fade it all out. Now I close my lever, and I'm just gonna go halfway, just pushing it halfway up, lightening from the bottom up, guys. We're trying to fade out that bottom line, but we're fading it into the top. So you kind of got to start at the bottom and push it up. Make sure everything gets lightened up. Now we're gonna take off our clip, lever open, which is a half, and we're gonna create another guide right there. That's our half guide. All right, I call it a half guide because we created with a half. So it's a half guide. Go across about 1 inch. Now we're gonna lower our lever a quarter way, and we're gonna go back to the same spot. Remember, you start from the bottom and you drag up. That way you're fading out the bottom line. Now we're halfway, and we're gonna go only halfway up, just going halfway up. You see how I stop halfway? And when I get to that spot, I kind of like flicking up, kind of lifting it up a little bit. Now my machine is closed completely, and I'm just focusing on that bottom shadow, just trying to push that bottom shadow so that there's no bottom line. No bottom line whatsoever, guys. Just pushing it up. Now I'm gonna grab my trimmer, and I'm just gonna focus on that bottom shadow right there. Just focusing, lining it, not lining it up, but lightening it up. Just pushing it up towards the middle. Now we got that little secondary shadow again. I told you that we created last time. Grab our machine, no clip, quarter way open, and I'm just gonna focus on that center shadow, that little secondary line again. Same steps over and over, guys. A fading is so repetitious. If you get into the groove of fading and the repetitious, you'll use the same steps on every single person, guys. Guarantee you that. So now we have that half clip right there, half line. Now we're gonna come back with our half clip, lever open, and we're just gonna slide it across about 3/4 of an inch, maybe an inch. As I go across, I'm gonna lower my lever quarter way, and I'm just still focusing on that center shadow. Sorry about that. Focusing on that center shadow, just dragging it and lifting up, kind of like a C cup motion. You want it nice and smooth, guys, nice and smooth. As I go across, I lower my lever quarter way again, and I'm just focusing on that center shadow now. Just pushing it up, make it look nice and clean. Fading it out. This is where the fade comes in right here. This is where the detail work comes in. This is where the flick of the wrist comes in. This is where you got to grab the barber eye, guys. This is where a lot of people mess up because they think it looks clean, but it doesn't look clean. You always use your mirrors. Take a picture of it. Pictures don't lie. Mirrors don't lie. Your eyes will lie to you, though. Trust me on that. So right there, just see, I see a little shadow right there. So I'm just going to mess with it. Trying to push it up. A little bit of detail work before I go down to my last side right there. This is what it's all about, guys. Fades. Do fades all day long, guys. I don't know about you guys. Let me know in the comments below. Do you guys do fades a lot? Because to me, it seems like at my shop, there's probably 95% fades, guys. I get a regular once a week if I'm lucky. But the majority of my haircuts are fades, just like this. 0 razor fades. I razor everybody, guys. I don't hold back. I want if somebody comes to get a fade from me, I want that baby to be smooth, baby, all the way down to the skin. You know what I mean? You don't want no stubble there. So right here again, part line. See where I parted it up, lifted it all up, grabbed it in a man bun up there. Now I'm just going with my number 2, going right up to the top, right up to the part line. Nothing hangs over, nice and tight. Now I'm gonna grab my number 1, lever open. Same thing, I'm gonna go back to the same spot again. Just kind of push that, just lightening everything up. You guys can see that there, just lightening everything up. As I go across, I'm just, I'm just focusing on that top shadow right there. Not really so much the bottom, because the bottom's gonna be way lower than a 1.5. But I'm just trying to lighten up the top. As I go across, now I lower my lever quarter way, and I'm gonna just keep lightening it up. Now I'm focusing on the middle. Levers closed, just lightening up the center. Take off my clip now, lever open, and I'm gonna create another guide. My half guide, 1 inch high, 1 inch up. See that? As I go across, I lower my lever quarter way, use my little baby brush, get my area clean, and I'm gonna go back to the same spot again. I don't know if you guys can notice, but I'm kind of using like the corner of the machine. When I fade, I tend to use the corner of the machine, kind of like a pencil. Now I lower my lever another quarter way, and I'm just focusing on that bottom line, just trying to push it up. Trying to push it up, guys. All I have left is that secondary half line, the secondary shadow right there that we created with a half. Same steps, guys, all the way around. Now we have our half clip, lever open, and I'm just focusing on that center shadow as I go across. Just rake the center shadow, lower a quarter way more, and I'm just focusing on the center. I notice a lot of times when barbers are doing fades like this, they'll stop and move their lever with their other hand, and it's just time consuming, guys. You have to get into the rhythm of controlling your machine and controlling your lever, and going up and down, seeing shadows, and grab that barber eye. When you have that barber eye, you'll know what machine you need to use, what specific clip you need to use. When you look at the hair, you'll be able to tell, okay, that's a 2, that's a 3, that's a 1.5. Oh, you want it tighter, then you got to go with a 1.5. So right here, I'm just cleaning up the bottom. The sides are pretty much done. The fade's complete. I'm just using the scalatorized trimmer, just kind of cleaning it up before I come in with my Braun Series 9, guys. The Braun Series 9. If you guys aren't using the Braun Series 9, you guys are really slowing yourselves down, guys, because the Braun Series 9 is probably the best shaver I've ever used, guys. It is so smooth, so easy to use. So easy to keep clean, so gentle. Like, you could use this on a little kid and he will not know that you are shaving him. It's a great way to get those fades down to super tight without scaring the client or harming the younger kids. I use it on everybody, guys. That's just the way I am. I think that a fade is not a fade unless it's shaved. That's my preference. You know, that's when I used to go get fades. I always wanted my fades to look nice and tight, and I always got them shaved. So when I do a fade, I try to shave every single person, unless the person tells me they're gonna break out and they don't like the electric razor. Then I'll probably stay away from it. But if not, I'll definitely do it, because I just feel that it gives you a nicer, tighter fade. Right there, I'm just looking at some shadows. So I'm just doing a little bit of detail work and moving that stuff out of the way and getting it all nice and cleaned up right there. Now I got my half clip back on, and I can see a little shadow right there. Again, just lining everything up, blending it in. This is how you get a tight fade, guys. Going over your work, checking your work, making sure your work looks good, double checking. But the man bun is pretty much done right here now. All we gotta do now is shave him up, and then we're gonna cut the top. We're gonna trim it up for him and still give him a lineup. And you guys gonna see this haircut really does pop, really does look good. You know, at first, when I first started barbering, I've already been in this for 18 years, guys, but when I first started barbering, the haircuts changed so much that, you know, sometimes it was like, man, what's this haircut here? You know, like they just, you know, they were changing up. Went from faux hawks to comb overs, and all of a sudden they want a line on the side of the head. You know, then all of a sudden man buns started coming back, and now we got these undercuts, and you know, some of these haircuts are awesome, but some of them are ugly. You know, just the styles. I don't know. Like this undercut right here, and this undercut, it's not for everybody, but on some people it looks really good, and if it's done properly, it could be very effective also. So I have a lot of people that come for man buns for these undercuts, but it's just like I always tell them, it just depends on how you're gonna wear it, because if you're not gonna put product in it, you're not gonna comb it back, you're just gonna let it fall over, it's gonna look horrible. You're gonna look like a mushroom, and you don't want to look like a mushroom, because then you have a mushroom just hanging over the sides, and it's just messing up your fade, making your fade look ugly. Nobody's gonna notice your fade if the top looks like junk, you know. So I always recommend to my clients, if you're gonna have an undercut, you definitely have to wear some product in it, because product is what keeps it popping, keeps it looking good, makes it look, you know, satisfactory. So right there, I just used my Braun Series 9, just shaved them all up, got them all nice and tight. Come back in, clean up right below the ears, doing some detail work, because that's where you're always going to forget the little hairs right there, right by the ears, right above the ears. Now I'm going to pull my uncover them in the neck right here and just clean them all up, because you had that little hairy neck syndrome right there. So getting them all cleaned up before we move on to our next step right here. But as far as these man buns go, guys, you know, us as barbers, we might not like a certain style of hair, but you know, we are just servers, guys. We have to serve up the haircut that our clients like. We can give recommendations, we could even not like a style, but ultimately, if our client wants that haircut, then that's what we need to do. We need to provide the service that they're requesting. It's not up to us as barbers. We can recommend and try to give them the best haircut that we can, but ultimately, you know, if that's what the client wants, and then you gotta handle it. You gotta give them that right type haircut, because if not, they're gonna go elsewhere. They're not gonna mess around with coming back to somewhere where they're not gonna get what they want, you know. So right there, just pretty much done with the fade, and we're done now with the shave on the bottom of the head. So now we're gonna move on to the top of the head, and the top of the head, like I said, this is an undercut, so everything hangs over the sides. So we're just gonna kind of lighten it all up. You can see he has a lot of hair on top too, so it's relatively long, but he wanted to shorten it up just to make it look nicer. And you can see how it hangs over the sides. That's why it's essential when you do this haircut that you go high up on the sides, because if you leave it low on the sides, it's not really going to look like an undercut. It's going to look like more like a regular fade, and so you need to go high on the sides, all the way up to the crown. And me myself, when I cut the top, guys, I don't know what it is, but I saturate the hair plenty. That's just my thing, is saturating the hair and getting it nice and tight, so that so that it looks good. So you can see how it hangs over the top. The sides are nice and tight. It goes right up to the part. I've seen undercuts where they try to leave like a little lip and leave it darker on the sides, and I don't know, to me they just don't look right. So what I like to do is I'll lighten it up quite a bit right there, get it nice and tight on the sides all the way up to the part, and that's what makes the difference between an undercut and a regular cut. Don't try that if the person on top wants the top to blend in. If they want it to blend in, you can't go too high on the sides like I did on this. This is only for undercuts, so keep that in mind, all right, guys? I see some young barbers, I see them at my own shop sometimes, that the young barbers, they go too high on the sides. They go way too high on the sides on a fade, like on a comb over or a slick back, and what they do is they take too much off of the crown. You can't take too much off of the crown, especially when they're gonna style their hair. If they're gonna do like undercuts like this, then it's easier. So what I did right there, guys, just because his hair was so long, what I did is I parted it right down the middle. And then that's going to be my starting point right in the front. I'm going to grab one side and I'm going to start off on that side and do one side and then do the other side. And basically what I'm doing here is I'm just taking off the split ends, not really taking too much hair off. Remember, you have to take the split ends, guys, or the hair's not going to grow properly. We have to cut the tips off. And I'm only taking maybe, I don't know, maybe like 3/4 of an inch. And as I go back, I'm towards the back, I'm gonna take a little bit more because I don't want it to hang too much over the back. So now I go on to my next section. I parted it down the middle, so there's 2 sections on each side. And as I go back, I'm just lifting up, just finding my guide, taking that amount off. Not taking too much, not taking too little. Just taking the right amount, guys. It's the name of the game. Let me know in the comments, guys, how many of you guys have done undercuts, okay? I want to really know. Let me know if it's a popular haircut where you live. Here, I live in the Los Angeles basin, and lately it seems like the undercuts are making a real big comeback. So let me know what you guys think about this haircut right here. Same thing, guys. Now we're on the other section. I'm gonna lift up part of the other side, and what I'm doing is lifting it up in sections, and as I'm lifting it up, I'm finding my guide where I left off, and I'm just gonna take it off right there. Not taking too much. Like I said, we're only taking maybe like 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. Not very much at all. That's the beauty of this haircut, is that, you know, there's not really too much messing up to do as far as the cutting part, because it's just long and it just hangs over the side. All we're gonna do is add some pomade on the top and just slick it back with the sides very tight. That's why it's called an undercut, because it goes all the way to the top, and the top kind of just hangs over the sides. And as always, now I'm gonna slick it all back, and then I'm gonna double check my work and go from side to side. And the reason I do that, gentlemen, is because I want to make sure that I'm cutting all the hair properly, and that's how you double check your work. You know, I like to crisscross my cuts just to make sure that everything is cut in the right way. So now I'm gonna go from side to side. Same thing, just lift up, and anything that I feel that I undercut, you're gonna take that off, lifting it straight up. 4 sections. That's a 4th section right there. Bam. Now we move to the middle of the head, and then the back of the head. Same thing. As always, guys, when I do my cuts, I cut from front to back and then side to side, just to double check my work by checkering it. I should have put the camera on the back side on this. Next time I'm gonna keep that in mind, just so you get a better view of how I'm cutting this. Guys, I know you guys are on to this thing right here, but guys, just a little quick reminder: September 27th, we're doing our first look and learn at my shop, here in the shop you're seeing in Los Angeles. Myself, Rum Barber, and Ant the Barber are hosting a class. It's very intimate. Only 20 people are going to be there. So we're about halfway sold out. So if you guys are interested in getting in on this class, We're gonna be on September 27th from 6 to 10 p.m. guys. We're gonna try to do 6 interactive tutorials where we're gonna be doing the tutorials and you guys are gonna be asking the questions. So it's gonna be a great night of event for us just to be able to share our experiences and our knowledge of the haircutting industry, guys. And it's a great opportunity for you guys that are trying to learn. So right there, guys, I'm just kind of like, what I did is I combed it all back. I already cut the top, combed it all back. So now that I combed it back, I'm just laying it down. And what I'm doing is just trimming the bottom, just trying to get it nice and straight. It doesn't have to be straight. It could be jagged. It could be choppy a little bit. It just depends on how you like it. He doesn't like it to hang over too much. So this is why this is as far as it's going to hang over. I've seen undercuts that go all the way down to the bottom of the neck, which looks kind of ridiculous, but there's some guys that do it that way. So right there, the undercut is kind of done. All we got to do now is we're going to do the lineup on him. Line him up. And then once we that, after that, we're going to style it. So right there, what I'm looking at is I see a shadow right there, like a dark shadow in the middle. So I'm just going to try to blend that out, make it look nice and tight. Working on that shadow right there. Pushing it up. Pretty simple, guys. Pretty simple. These undercuts are fun, guys, because I just feel like they're super easy to do if you know how to fade or taper. And the younger kids right now, they're into this cut. So this is a cut that definitely everybody needs to learn. Everybody definitely needs to learn how to do it. Okay, so now we're moving along to the lineup right here. So now I turn them, like as always when I do my lineups, I do them on one side only. I don't go all the way across the head. So right here I kind of dip his head down towards me, and I'm gonna start at that corner right there using my Skeletor trimmer, Babyliss Skeletor gold trimmer, and I'm gonna start in that one corner. As I dab down, I'm gonna go across, making that nice straight line all the way across. Just to the middle only, not all the way to the other side of the face, only to the middle right there. Now I'm gonna trim machine the other way, and I'm gonna work on that 90-degree angle right there. That corner has to be a 90-degree angle, guys. It can't be a round, it can't be a odd shape. Nice 90-degree angle, guys. That's the best part of doing these lineups right here. Follow the hairline, don't push the hairline up, guys. Nothing worse than pushing the hairline up. You know, some people just don't have that perfect lineup, so you have to either create it for him, or strain it out for him, or fix it for him. That's what we do, guys. So right there, done with that corner right there. Now we're gonna move on to the other side, turn them over. So you know, same thing, guys. You know, as you can see right there, it's already, and then I dip them down towards me, and you can see the corner right there. And I'm gonna leave off right where I left off in the middle, and I'm gonna go towards the other side. Just dabbing down, guys, dabbing down. Once I dab down, I hit the contact of the skin, and then I pull down. Now I turn it sideways right there, and I'm doing the other corner right there. Make it look nice and clean, nice and tight. Not everybody gets lineups, guys, but not everybody needs lineups. But you know, it's just lineups is something that you need to learn, because I guarantee you, people are gonna sit in your chair and ask you for one. So it's better to get good at them. You know, nice straight lines. Use your mirrors. Always look in your mirrors. Make sure that it doesn't look crooked, because you know, everybody's guilty of it. I mean, I've left a crooked lineup before too, but it's just something that doesn't look good, and you don't want that kind of reputation. You want to do good lineups, and the only way you're going to get good at lineups is by practicing. So keep that in mind. You just keep working on it. So right there, I put my half clip. I was noticing there was a little bit of a dark shadow. I don't know if you guys noticed it when we were talking earlier. I noticed it right away right now, so I'm glad I went back to touch it up. Just cleaning it all up. Right there, I'm kind of moving that hair out of the way, because I want to get nice and tight on that corner right there. Get it nice and even. So I use my clips. I always have clips around. Clips are good to holding hair, holding it to one side, holding it to the other side. Keep you uniform. Equipment is very important, guys. Having the proper equipment, the proper tools to do these haircuts is essential. You know, I had somebody tell me not too long ago that wasting money on cordless machines, because cordless machines have been around forever. And, you know, that's just a preference, guys. You know, you don't have to spend money on cordless machines. Cordless machines work just as good. They've been around for years and years. And some people don't even like cordless machines. But I'm telling you, being free from the cord is something that is so nice. I don't know. Me, myself, I enjoyed having cordless machines. So I value them, and I'm going to continue to use them. Here I'm using the Braun Series 9, just kind of cleaning up that bottom. Maybe, like I said, whenever somebody comes and gets a fade from me, guys, they're not going to walk away with stubble. They're going to walk away with it brand spanking new smooth. Baby butt smooth, guys. Remember that. Baby butt smooth. That's what you want. You want it nice and smooth. You don't want no stubble, no hair. So right here, what I'm doing now, the haircut is pretty much done, guys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to style it real quick. Once I style it, then I'm gonna line up the lineup with a straight razor just to clean it up. But what I'm doing first is I'm gonna style it for him. This young gentleman's already a regular of mine, so he's been into my shop for many years. Started cutting his hair when he was very young. But, you know, guys, at this moment right here is a great time for you to step up your game with your clients. What you can do, and I've done it before, is you hand them the mirror and you explain to them what you're doing right here and how you're styling their hair for them. And what I'm doing is I'm just using a roller brush. I'm using a roller brush and just drying it, lifting it up, and pushing it all back. And what I applied before I did that, I applied some grooming spray. Grooming spray is essential when you're trying to style some hair. I just find it now easier to apply a little grooming spray, which is kind of like a hairspray, and then you blow dry the hair dry. Because remember, when you're applying pomade, if you're using pomades, most pomades are water soluble. So if they're water soluble, you don't want to add them to a hair that's wet. You want to add them to a hair that's dry. So the best thing to do when you're applying pomades is to dry the hair in the direction that you want it to sit. So for instance, this one right here is just all straight back, just pushing it all, lifting up the hair, drying it, taking away the dampness. That way when you apply your pomade, it'll take to it. Because if the hair is wet, I guarantee you your pomade's not going to work as good. Me, myself, I'm not into wax style pomades, any kind of greasiness. I don't like that. Me, I do like water soluble pomades. That's why those are the kinds that I sell, because I don't mind them having them on. But say for instance Murray's, it's a wax style, like a grease style. That stuff is awful, man. It clogs up your pores, and it does you no justice whatsoever. So right there again, just blow drying the hair in the direction that you want it to sit, guys. It's gonna lay back, so we're just blow drying it all down, getting it nice and dry. That way when we apply the pomade right now, it's gonna take real nice. So this is the opportunity for you to consult with your client, you know, let them know how you're doing, show them the mirror, show them how to style his hair. You know, when you do little things like this, guys, that's how you get people to come back into your chair, by going that extra mile, providing the service, explaining the service. You know, there's nothing worse than somebody just sitting in your chair and you give them a haircut by a 3-second explanation of what you want. You know, sometimes it's better to do the haircut the right way, you know, the first time. Know what you're doing. So right here, what I'm doing is just applying a little bit of shave gel so that we could do the lineup in the front. I don't use shaving cream on the front of the forehead, because I feel that you're just blinding yourself, and you're gonna go in there with a straight razor. It's better to know what you're doing, so just better to get it nice and tight. What I'm doing with my back there right there is I'm just preparing my razor. Every client gets a new razor, so you have to prepare that. And what I'm doing right here now is I'm just gonna shave the shave line, getting it nice and tight, nice and clean. There's nothing worse than doing a fade and having a crooked lineup, or having some green stubble on the forehead because of a hairline. You know, that's how you take that out. You take it out with a straight razor. Just tighten up your fade, tighten up your lineups. Detail work, guys. The detail work at the end of the haircut is so important. That's gonna distinguish you from the other barbers. You know, you wanna put yourself ahead of everybody else. You want your haircut to stand out. And at the end, you want to take pictures of it. Start doing hyperlapse videos. Promote yourself. You can't be successful if you don't promote yourself. You can't work somewhere and expect that barbershop just to promote you and that's it. You know, especially if you're a new barber. If you're a new barber, there's many ways of promoting yourself. Business cards, hyperlapse videos, posting pics, you know. Start a YouTube channel. There's guys out there that are starting YouTube channels and they're just getting into barbering. You don't know how smart that is, guys, because guess what? 5 years from now, when you're an experienced seasoned barber, you're going to be an experienced seasoned YouTuber too. And that's just another funnel of income. If you guys don't know that, you guys need to inform yourselves. So right there, I just lined them up with a straight razor, got them all nice and cleaned up. Now I'm just taking off all the gel, the shave gel that I used on them, keeping it clear. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna apply some more, try to dry the hair a little bit more on top, because you know his hair was pretty long, so it takes quite a bit to dry it out. So we're just drying it out before we apply our final product, get our final pick for this haircut. If you're not styling people's hair in your shop, guys, you guys are doing yourself a disservice, because you know, showing your client how your haircut could look and letting them walk out looking pimp is the best kind of advertisement you could do. You know what? Because what they're gonna do is they're gonna see that and they're gonna be, oh, this guy knows what he's doing. He's explaining it to me. He's trying to show me how to style my hair. Because there's nothing worse that you style the hair all beautifully, and then what they do is they go home and take a shower and they never style their hair. They don't have the right product for it. You know, product has a lot to do with it. You can't get a haircut like this and not apply gel in it or pomade and expect it to look, you know, expect it to look good. It's just not going to happen. You got to have the right tools. You got to have the right equipment. You have to have the right products too. So, you know, information is king. Inform your clients. Give them good hair consultations. Give them the consultation after the haircut. Explain to him how to do it, what he needs to have, the roller brush as far as the product that he's going to need, and then you try to upsell yourself, get more money on the box. You know, try to some places they give you commission for selling more product. You get some more money in your pocket. So it's, you know, it's just providing the complete service to your client, because ultimately providing that complete service is what your client wants. So right here, I'm just applying some tip top pomade. I already blow dried the hair in the direction we want. I'm kind of just lift up his man bun and just make sure that it gets all saturated. No. Now the haircut looks complete right there. It's looking pretty good. Pretty good for his first day of college, I would say. So this is basically the undercut right here, guys. It's as simple as that. In real time, this haircut took me about, this video's 30 minutes. So it probably took me about 45 minutes with the stops in between and everything. But guys, keep this in mind. This is a very, very simple haircut. And it's a haircut that every barber needs to master. So keep that in mind. Work on them. Don't turn haircuts away. Don't turn clients away. If you're new in this business and you're working at a shop and you see a hard haircut walk in, don't be discouraged. Don't turn your way. Greet the person. Be knowledgeable. Talk to them. And sometimes, you know, just a good attitude and good attitude will take you a long way, guys. I remember when I first started. The hard haircuts would come in, and I'd be like, "Oh man, here comes a fade. I don't want to do a fade." I wasn't really good at doing fades, so I would try to discourage myself from doing them, or I would try to talk the client into getting a different haircut that he maybe didn't want. You know what I mean? And that was just something that I figured, you know, I'll try it. So what I'm doing right there is I'm spraying some gravity spray on them, guys. Gravity spray just basically holds everything in place. And just doing a little bit of final detail work, guys. You know, just looking at my fade and looking at little shadows and just trying to get it all nice and situated, making sure there's no shadows. Remember, on fades, you don't want shadows, you don't want lines. You want everything to be nice and blended in. But like I was saying about these haircuts, guys, you have to get good at these haircuts, because these are the cuts that are going to make you the money. These are what I call the money cuts, the more expensive cuts. You know, this is a $22 at my shop. This is a $22 haircut. But if they book an appointment, and then it turns into a $30 haircut, you know, plus your tip, you're looking at $35. So, you know, guys, it could be very profitable, but you guys have to market yourselves. You guys have to be there, stay late, never leave early. Always show up early and never leave early. Remember those, guys. Always show up early and never leave early. And you know, in this business, you'll get successful. You'll get good. You can see that the fade's starting to look very, very proper now. Very, very good. No more lines, no more everything. And I'm just kind of doing the last final detail works, just getting everything settled in, getting it all cleaned up, making my lineup look nice and square. You know, you want that 90-degree angle to be on point so that your haircut will look on point. So at this point, guys, the haircut is complete. This tutorial is complete, guys. I encourage you guys to subscribe to our channel, guys. I'm dropping content daily. I'm here to help you guys further your barber career. If you guys have any questions about this haircuts, make sure you guys leave it below. I implore you guys to subscribe to our channel. If you guys are here just checking it out for the first time, we have great content. We're here to help you guys. If you guys have any questions, make sure you leave them below, guys. With that being said, guys, one final reminder: September 27th at my shop, it's gonna be an intimate 20-person look and learn, where we're gonna be doing some demos. Myself, Run the Barber, and Antha Barber. We're on our way to Las Vegas Barber Expo, so we'll be there too. Also, I will be competing in the Barber Expo. Make sure you guys wish me luck. With that being said, guys, I appreciate you guys watching, and grind on. Click that subscribe button.